Hi there, I'm WTOL 11 Chief Meteorologist Chris Vickers, and thank you so much for joining us for this edition of Climate Friday. And here in early June, we're going to be talking about our summertime temperature trends and what we've noted in our climate over the past several decades. So let's look at the nation as a whole since 1970, and you probably have guessed it. Yes, we've seen a warming trend in our overall climate, specifically the East Coast, the Midwest, and Great Lakes region across the southern plains and into the West. We've seen extreme amounts of warming. Now, there's been about 250 locations that were analyzed in this study, and there's been warming that has been noted in 96% of those locations. The one area that hasn't quite seen as much of a warming in our summertime temperatures is across the northern plains, the Dakotas, down into Nebraska and parts of Iowa, some areas in the Corn Belt region that have seen minimal amounts of overall warming. So what does this data mean nationally compared to locally here in our area? Well, let's look at the Toledo specific data. And yes, our summers have been warming since the 1970s. By a magnitude of 3.8 degrees Fahrenheit over the past 5 decades, we've seen that steady increase in our summertime temperatures, and that is by a significant amount. And in fact, compared to all the locations that were analyzed, about 53% of those locations saw a warming in their summertime temperatures of over 2 degrees Fahrenheit. And you can tell here in Toledo, we are on the higher end of that. Now, another statistic that we can use to compare how much we've warmed in our summertime temperatures, how about our warm summer days? How many days do we see above average compared to the 1970s? We are now an astounding 21 more summer days that reach above average temperatures compared to when those records started back in the 1970s. Now, we can look even farther back in Toledo's history. Our warmest summer temperatures ever in Toledo's history, and these records go back to 1871. So we're talking about 150 years of records. Our warmest summer ever on record, the average temperature was 75.7 degrees. Do you remember last summer? 2021, it was the second warmest summer on record, and close behind the summer of 2020, back-to-back years in the top 3 for warmest summers on record in Toledo. We'll expand that data out though. In the past 2 decades, 5 of our 10 warmest summers have occurred in the past 2 decades, evidence of an overall warming trend that we've noticed in our summer climate. Now, that can have impacts not only on our agriculture, but our air quality and also heat-related illness. That is something we'll continue to track as we go into this summer season to keep you safe and prepared. For today's edition of Climate Friday, I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Vickers.